Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new and the improved Crash Pad. I am your host, Tyler Crash, and today I've got two interviews for you. These interviews were recorded obviously separately because these two men do not like each other right now. So much animosity between the two of them. I've got the first interview for you. It is the boy next door, Brandon Law, followed by his younger brother, but the veteran competitor, the absolute best, Hunter Law. These two were absolute professionals when it came to the interviews. Brandon was a little messed up from competition yesterday. Him and his brother went to absolute war with each other. Hunter came out victorious. A little dirty, but, you do what you got to do. But they tore each other apart. Hunter came out on the winning end, but we get into that in the interviews themselves. To get into some other things going on before we jump into the interviews, as I said, I was on commentary at Tampa Bay Pro. That's something I do for them and something I very much enjoy. Hopefully Tampa Bay Pro and the powers that be enjoy these podcasts and enjoy the interviews that I've conducted at their show. And we work out a business relationship where, I can come in and do interviews. They post it on their thing. I post their stuff on here. And everybody's back gets scratched. Business is business, and you do what you got to do. Our stock is on the rise, and the only way we can go is up from here. Big things are coming. One of the big things, exciting announcement, I have a special correspondent who I will probably introduce to y'all in an update in between this and the next episode, but we will get to that. The news is that this correspondent of mine is going to be attending the G1 special, the New Japan G1 special on the West Coast, and she has graciously offered to provide coverage out there. So, she will be attending that G1 special, hopefully be able to get some interviews with maybe a young boy or two from the New Japan dojo, but she will definitely be giving a review and her views on the matches at hand and her opinions and, what she thought of all the action. So, that's very exciting stuff coming to you from the Crash Pad. Like I said, the stock is on the rise. Only way to go is up. Amazing things are in the works. We're coming back, and we're coming back strong. To those of you who've stuck around through the hiatus, thank you for sticking around. And I hope that everybody gives this a like and a share. And like I said, we're going to skyrocket from here. So, an update on how things are changing, how it's new and improved podcast. The episodes will be 30 minutes long, hopefully 20 minutes of interview, 5-minute intro, 5-minute close, let y'all know what's going on, what's new, what's going on in the episode. So, that's one of the updates, as well as we're going to do so many different things, reviews, interviews, just stories, we're going to try to give you everything that we can here at the Crash Pad. I say we, but it's mainly just myself and a couple other, close confidants helping me out along the way. So, following those updates, let's get right into these interviews. First up, we have the boy next door, Brandon Law. Great interview. Young guy coming up on the scene. He's up first, then his younger brother, but the veteran of the two brothers, the absolute best, Hunter Law, follows that.
All right, guys, I'm here with Brandon Law, who just went through hell tonight at Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling. I feel like you're dealing with a little bit of concussion. You took some serious shots to the head.
Yeah, man, it was a battle out there. I gave it all I had, but Hunter's a tough one, and he might be my younger brother, but he knows what he's doing in that ring. But I just have some unfinished business with him, and once I recover from these head shots, I'm gonna come back at him.
Hopefully next time you'll be able to eke out the victory, because he put one hell of a beating on you tonight, I'm sure it's a little payback for growing up, you putting the beating on him a little bit, huh?
Oh yeah, growing up, he's 3 years younger than me, so I did put a lot of beatings on him, and I guess it's the little payback he's getting. But like I said, it's unfinished business I have with him. So he can run, but he can't hide.
I'm sure he's gonna say that those are all fabrications and lies. Blaming the concussion, making you think that you actually got to beat him up as a kid. But well, maybe I'll talk to Hunter and get his side of the story. But so Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling, this is where you got your start, and this is associated with the Jay Lethal Academy. Tell me, what is it like to, of course, train with Jay Lethal, and, obviously from the matches here, Jay has been in your corner pretty much. So tell me about, the training, being here at Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling and having Jay just be an advocate for you like that.
Well, Jay's one of the best to learn from, ins and outs of wrestling, just anything you want to know. He's there to teach you, train you. I trained with him since I started last March, and then trained with him from March to May, and then we trained again from October because I had a bigger class. Trained from October up until my first match, and I'm still training, but I had my first match in April, and like I said, I've been wrestling since April, and honestly, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm able to do in there if it wasn't for Jay. And I give all my thanks to him. Every week I'm still training out there at Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling training facility, and I'm right alongside Jay, still learning, still trying to work my craft. And like I said, all thanks to him, I'm able to do stuff in that ring.
Maybe take the week off for training this week, let your head recover a little bit. But yeah, I can vouch for it. I've seen him in the ring training, and he goes hard. He's one of the ones that's in there first and out there last. Brandon, you are a tough son of a bitch. You stuck it out in there tonight with Hunter, and he was, being ruthless, straight up, and somehow you just kept getting up to your knees and taking those kicks to the face, and but your heart is still in it, and that's one of the things that I love most about you, is that your heart is in this, because you can't be in this business without having a heart and without having a passion for this business. Since we're talking about that passion and everything like that, tell me, were you a fan growing up? Who were you a fan of? What got you into wrestling? And, because yes, we are workers, but we are always going to be fans, I hate the term mark, because we're all fans. That's what got us into this business. If you're a person in this business, you are a mark, because we love this business. It's what we do, and we have fun with it. So tell me some of the backstory of how you grew up, if you grew up watching, or who inspired you, who made you a fan.
Well, growing up, I was a huge Edge head, big Edge fan. Just everything he did, especially him and Kurt Angle. I could watch him and Kurt Angle go at it all day long. Those are one of my favorite matches of all time. Also like Shawn Michaels. I like a lot of Shawn Michaels. I've been watching wrestling ever since I could walk, just learn how to walk. And it's been in the family, and it's just Edge, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero as well, and Sting. I was a big fan of Sting.
Yeah, I can tell by your Stinger splash and your holler.
Yep, that's a little honor to the Stinger himself. But those are my idols, those who I still watch to this day and still try to pick up on things. But those are the ones I look up to.
So you grew up in Louisiana, correct? I mean, these people can probably hear by your accent. And then the more I talk to you, the more my accent comes out from my time in Kentucky. But so what's it like growing up in Louisiana? What did you do as a kid? Just let these people get to, the fans get to know you a little bit more, instead of just being the boy next door, let them, fantasize about you a little more, them girls.
Well, growing up in South Louisiana, I mean, the food is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's one thing I miss about home, being in Florida, is the food, but also family. But also just growing up, I wasn't really an inside kid. I was very active in sports. I played every sport you could think of. Growing up, my dad would coach my teams, and he was always hard on me, and I think that's where I get my work ethic from, my dad, and my hard work and my drive. But being South Louisiana, man, everybody says, oh, you got alligators in your backyard. That's not the case. That's not the case. But if you ever get a chance down to visit Louisiana, Lafayette, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, definitely check it out. I mean, you won't be disappointed, especially during Mardi Gras season. Definitely check that out.
I definitely have to check out Mardi Gras. You know, that's around my birthday. And, you know, boobs are awesome. By the way, my show's not family friendly, so you can cuss if you want to. We touched on Tampa Bay Pro. You're also at ACW, which runs Wednesdays, every Wednesday in Newport Richey. But there, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but you're a part of the Dynasty. And, you know, tell me about the Dynasty and how it is working with those guys.
Well, I haven't really had a match with them yet, but like I said, man, I'm just going with the flow with, you know, my own thing here at Tampa Bay Pro, and, you know, trying to leave it all out in the ring, man. Just want to give it my best, want to give the people, you know, their worth, and just try to be me. That's all I can do.
Now, you said trying to be you. Is a lot of yourself in your gimmick? Is it just like you being the boy next door, or like what did anything inspire that type of character?
Honestly, no. A lot of people, I mean, they've called me Pretty Boy and things like that. I mean, so the name kind of sticks with it, I guess.
I mean, it's true. You're quite a handsome man.
But I mean, just honestly, my character is me turned all the way up. The snapbacks, the cutoffs. It's just me, man. Just me.
I feel you. And, you know, you mentioned earlier that you're a fan of Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho said it best, that the best gimmicks, the best characters, the best wrestlers are always a little bit of themselves into their gimmick turned all the way up to 11. And, you know, because Jericho's my second favorite of all time, so I understand you modeling after him a little bit and taking that inspiration. So let's talk about what else you got going on. I know you're working with NWA now, which is super cool. And yes, NWA is still around, guys, if you don't know. And it's only going up from here, especially now that you got Brandon Law in there.
Yeah, NWA Southeastern down in Pavo, Georgia. Ever since my first appearance there a couple weeks ago, it's been absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite crowds to work in front of. I enjoy every time going back there and just putting on a show. I absolutely love this business, and being able to work in front of a crowd that's so loud for you, it's you can't explain it.
Now, what's it like going from Tampa Bay Pro to NWA? You know, Tampa Bay Pro is a fairly new promotion and new to this, to these fans, but NWA is established. So how does it feel working, you know, especially working NWA after just starting in wrestling? It's an amazing start for your career.
Well, I do have a chip on my shoulder, and ever since I started in this business, I've had that chip on my shoulder because I feel like I have something to prove here. No matter where I'm wrestling, I'm going to give it all I have and leave it all out in that ring because I have a chip on my shoulder and because I love this business so much and I'm passionate about it that I'm going to do everything I can to do my absolute best and get the victories.
That's awesome, man. You know, and I really feel that passion like we were talking about earlier, your heart in that ring to keep fighting. And last things, you know, let's get it out there. You don't want to plug yourself, your Facebook, your fan pages, Twitter, anything like that?
Yeah, well, you can follow me on Facebook, Brandon Law. It's easy, BRANDON LAW. Instagram is brandon.law, LAWW. And follow me there and keep up with the journey.
All right, thanks, Brandon. It was good to have you. All right, thank you. And that's Brandon Law. You know, he's still a little concussed, having some trouble standing up right now, walking away, but he put up one hell of a fight against Hunter, but couldn't come out victorious. But hopefully he comes back and finally gets that W over his little brother. All right, everybody. I just had an interview with Brandon Law, but now I got Hunter Law, who came out victorious tonight at Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling. You put a beating on your brother. Explain that.
You're right. I did put a beating on Brandon because Brandon, frankly, doesn't deserve to be in the ring with me. I am the absolute best professional wrestler in Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling, and he is just getting started. As talented as he is, I've been in the ring with world champions. I've been in the ring with some of the best, which made me the absolute best. So I don't think Brandon deserves to even step into the ring with me, and that's what happens when he thinks that he can get in there and go toe-to-toe with the greatest. I had to shut him down.
Absolutely, man. I was on commentary calling the action, and we thought it was going to be a regular match, but then the commissioner, Jay Lethal, who you have had issues with, comes out and designates himself the official, and I was having issues with it because he wasn't calling it down the middle. Tell me your thoughts on that and the whole thought process of how it, he had very slow counts for you, quick counts for Brandon. Tell me about that.
Well, it kind of makes me sick, his abuse of power. He wants to come in here and referee my match. I laid him out at breaking the law. I left Jay Lethal laying there on the mat. So of course he has an issue with me. Of course he is not going to be fair. And he said he was going to call it down the middle, but you all saw it. You saw the fast counts. You saw everything. So I did what I had to do. The blood is on Jay Lethal's hands. My brother's blood is because of him. The reason I did that to Brandon was because of Jay Lethal.
Now, you put the beating on him, but are you done with him? Because I don't think he's done with you. He's going to come back after this. Whether it's a concussion, I don't know what the issue is. I don't know what the medical status is. He seems a little concussed to me. That's what I think. But are you done with him? Are you moving on to greener pastures?
Well, to be honest, I don't even know why they keep scheduling this match with Brandon because, quite frankly, I need to be in the main events. And he's just holding me back because he has a little issue with me. I am the best professional wrestler in Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling, so I need to be in the top of the card all the time. All the time. Every show. This is my show. I have the best match every single time. And the fact that I'm not getting the respect that I deserve over here makes me absolutely sick.
My thoughts exactly. I've been on commentary for the past 2 shows, calling your matches, and it's been incredible. Yes, you have had the best matches on the shows, the past 2 shows, at least the ones that I've seen. And, so what is next for you, not only here, but everywhere you are? Like what, because I know you're with, as I talk with Brandon, you guys are NWA, Southeastern, correct?
Yes.
Up in Georgia. Tell me, what you got going on, what you are planning here, what you got going on elsewhere.
Well, I mean, with wrestling, you never know where it can go. You never know what's next. That's the exciting thing about wrestling. You can always get new opportunities. I'm a free agent, so I go wherever I need to go to get my name out there, to show everyone how talented I really am. It's wherever the road takes me, you know what I'm saying?
So, like I said, you're in NWA. That's awesome, I think. And as I said earlier, yes, NWA is still around. It's still kicking. It's still, and there's big things happening for the NWA. And I love that it's still there. There's such a history with it. How does it feel to be a part of that, company?
It feels good. There's no telling where the NWA is going to go from here because, as everyone knows, Billy Corgan has purchased the NWA. I'm sure they have big plans, and I am an NWA Cruiserweight champion, so they have to have eyes on me. They have to see me, and if they don't, then I'm going to make them,
Absolutely, and, that could open so many doors for you. We have, like, Chase Owens, who's now in New Japan and a part of the Bullet Club, and he came out of the NWA. Is that one of your goals, to get with New Japan, to travel, across the world?
Of course it's one of my goals to go to New Japan, go to wherever, but my main goal, my main focus is just to become a better wrestler, a better all-around performer, whatever that needs to be. I would love to go and train in different dojos, learn different styles, because the better that I get, the more opportunities that I will get, and they won't be able to deny the fact, that I've got what it takes,
Now, you talked about training, and you want to train in different places, get different styles, but you are a product of the Lethal Academy, correct?
That's right. And
how was it training with Jay Lethal, who's regarded as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, honestly? He's in my opinion, one of the greatest in the world right now. and it's not just a gimmick. He is the greatest first-generation superstar. So what was it like training with him? You know, how hard did you work? And obviously you did work hard because you are incredible in that ring.
Well, all of our differences aside, you know, me and Jay, you know, we were close. I personally, differences aside, I think he's the greatest wrestler in the world today. And, you know, I had that chip on my shoulder because you know, I want to show him that I'm the best. He may be the greatest. He may be the greatest wrestler in the world, but he gave me all of the tools. All of the tools. He taught me everything. And so now it's time for me to show him that what he taught me, I've taken it and I've taken it further than anyone can ever imagine. And I am the best. That's it. That's what I want to prove to him. That's what this is about.
Absolutely. So now to get away from, you know, the work aspect of it, you know, I think, you know, I hate the term mark because we're all fans of this business.
Right.
You know, so tell me, like, what exactly made you a fan, first off, and then some guys who inspire you still to this day, and, you know, just generally, like, what made Hunter Law get into wrestling?
Right. Well, number one, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is the guy. He's always been the guy for me. He's the reason I became a professional wrestler. My uncle likes to tell this story. He used to babysit me, and he had an Iron Man match on VHS. So when he wanted me to be quiet, he would just set in Bret and Shawn Iron Man match, and for 60 minutes he could relax and stuff, and I would just be captivated by that whole hour-long match. I probably have seen that, man, hundreds of times. It's just something about him, you know. I believed in everything he's doing, and that's my guy, man. Him, and then as I got older, it started to be Edge, you know. Edge became my guy. So I actually got to, when I was a kid, I went to a Monday Night Raw, and it was Edge versus Shawn Michaels in a street fight in the main event, and that was awesome. That's one of the highlights of my childhood, and that's another thing, man. And one more thing that made me get off my butt and actually, you know, take wrestling that next step is I went to WrestleMania 30, and I saw Daniel Bryan overcome all the odds and win the world title. And that moment, the amount of love that the crowd showed him, I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it now. That's the reason that I moved to Florida to train, to get better, and it's paid off, you know.
That's awesome, dude. Like, I feel you. You know, I went to WrestleMania 29, and seeing CM Punk's last match against Undertaker, I'm a big CM Punk guy. You know, that definitely inspired me, because that's what's great about this business, about wrestling. It's beautiful, the fact that, you know, there's so much emotion from all these different people all across the world, and we're all connected. Like, that's the insane part about wrestling. People don't understand that. It's art. It's the last form and most misunderstood form of performance art out there. So, talking about it being performance art and, you know, the emotion behind it, what inspired your character? Is it just you cranked up to 11, or is it like, I see touches of Shawn, I see touches of Edge, you know, is it you mixing these guys together?
Well, you know, the thing is, I didn't know who Hunter Law was until I got seriously injured. And I realized that I needed to step up my game and do something a little bit different. It gave me that chip on my shoulder. It gave me that edge that I needed to really stand out. And I think it lit a fire under me. And you know, I think that's it's sad that it had to happen because I got hurt. But when I got hurt, it just made me sick seeing everyone just bypass me and bypass me and bypass me. And then when I came back from the injury, I know how good I am in that ring, and I know when I step into a locker room that I can go with anybody in that locker room. I don't care who it is. I know that I can go toe-to-toe with them. And the fact that I was just getting overlooked and overlooked and overlooked and overlooked and overlooked, it really got on my nerves. So now I'm just doing what I want to do, what I need to do to take myself to that next level. I don't care who I have to take out. I don't care who's standing in front of me. I don't care what they have me doing. I do what I want when I want because I can.
Absolutely, man, and we saw that tonight at Tampa Bay Pro. You did exactly what you wanted to do. You had a game plan. You were going to take Brandon out, and you did. Last thing, do you want to plug anything? Your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, free advertising here?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, HLaw Wrestling. I believe my Facebook is the same, and I think my YouTube is also the same, HLaw Wrestling. That's all my social media, so check me out, follow me, let me know what y'all think. Give me some feedback. I always like to hear from fans and get their thoughts on what I'm doing, and that's it. And, just keep up with the journey.
All right, thanks, Hunter. It was awesome talking to you. That's Hunter Law. Follow him. Big things are coming for him as well as his brother. Animosity between them. Is it done? I don't know. I'll keep you all in tune, and you'll hear from me soon.
All right, there you have it. 2 awesome interviews from the Law brothers, Brandon and Hunter. Maybe let's get a little poll going. If you guys want to give me some feedback, let me know which interview you preferred. Maybe we'll add some heat to this rivalry. See which brother the fans prefer. Give a little jab at Hunter and Brandon, see what we can get going. Build that animosity up a little bit, make it a little bit more exciting. Not that it's not exciting as it is. Oh, my goodness. If you haven't seen their matches, YouTube them. I'm telling you guys. Incredible stuff. So, guys, like I said, give me the feedback on the interviews on your favorite Law brother. Give me some feedback on what you want from me and what you want from the Crash Pad itself. We're going to try and cover as much as we can, whether that's, local indie talent in the Florida scene or wherever I can travel to conduct these interviews. We're going to cover, the big time, WWE. We're going to do reviews. We're going to do reviews and thoughts on WWE, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground. So much wrestling is going on in the world right now, and it's just the best time to be a pro wrestling fan. But aside from pro wrestling, I would also like to cover any other form of entertainment. If you want to talk movies, you want to talk sports, I'll talk football with you all day. You give me a topic, we'll talk. I can wax poetic about football. It's my favorite sport. Love it to death. Fantasy football, come football season, I'm making money this year. Guaranteed. But just let me know what you guys want to talk about. Let me know who you want me to interview. I've got a few lined up in the pocket. And, I'm going to do my damnedest to get as many people on this podcast as I can. I've got a couple interviews lined up for the next Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling show, which is coming to you from the Big Top Event Center July 30th. That is Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling presents Tag Wars, July 30th from the Big Top Event Center in Tampa Bay. Awesome working with them. Hopefully we can continue working together, the Crash Pad and Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling. It's going to be an incredible event, this upcoming one, July 30th. I should be able to get some interviews. I don't want to drop any names yet. But I'll give you one. One who talked to me before he was leaving the show the other day and said that he wanted to be on the podcast. Snoop Strikes, another Lethal Academy guy. I'm going to have a lot of those guys coming on the podcast. I work very closely with some of them, especially working out of Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling, which is associated with the Lethal Academy. So Snoop Strikes will be one of the next interviews coming up, but in about 2 weeks, because I'm going to do these episodes bi-weekly now, you have a pre-recorded interview that I did at the Tampa Bay event, Over the Top, with the Coda, Caden Green and Ronnie Rios. Very interesting stuff from these guys. We got a little bit of, explanation on who and what the Coda is and are, as well as, behind the gimmick, learning about these professionals as people, not only as their personas, but as people, as you just heard with Hunter and Brandon. So that's the way that I want to do things. I want to get you, I want to give you some gimmick. I want to give you some real life. I want to give you, as much as I can within the confines of what these guests and, what pro wrestling allows. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sticking around. If you are a fan who has stuck around during the hiatus, thank you so much. To the new fans and everyone in general, thank you for listening. Give this a like and a share. Share the shit out of this, because we are going to the moon, ladies and gentlemen, trying to take the Crash Pad podcast as far as we can. So thank you for tuning in. Like and share. Follow on every platform that you can. And you'll hear from me within 2 weeks. Hopefully with the update on the G1 special and my correspondent. And if not, before then we'll have, in 2 weeks, the Coda, Caden Green and Ronnie Rios. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Raise some verbal hell.